Hi, beautiful people. Let's just get into it, shall we? First of all, what is all this traditional woman talk? I am so lost. Let's just take a breather for this one because I am so confused. Since when? All right, let me rephrase this. So let's talk about what a traditional woman even means, first of all. And for some reason in American culture, it seems that the patriarchy is very adamant that women should be more traditional and more, what should I say, wifely. So let's dive in deep to this topic and multiple topics that have been made just in the forefront of media nowadays. So we all know the clash between ratchet, ghetto, urban, and the typical housewife dresses very modest and all of that. And I'm just concerned to know where their where the fulcrum meets both ends. Because for some reason in Western society, it is deemed distasteful to show skin, to shake your bum, to make any sexually progressive interest to the other party. Now, in Eastern cultures, being very, what should we say, shaking the rump, and showing skin is not as important as it is in the Western world. Now, let's take this with a grain of salt. I do realize that history plays a part in how women have been portrayed in media. So I won't even get into that. So I am here to just put all the points out and we can all just have this conversation in the comment section. I don't care if you agree or you don't agree, but I find it fascinating how we all lack a little bit of empathy when it comes to cultural differences, especially in a time where we're supposed to be more diverse, if that makes sense. So anywho, me being from the Caribbean, daggering, whining, and dancing with a fellow male counterpart, it's not a big a deal if that's how you want to operate, but still there's a time and place for everything. It's weird. It's just societal norms do play a big factor in how women are portrayed. It's just weird how we get all these labels and stereotypes that were all made by men, if that makes sense. Y'all remember that little incident? I don't even say incident. You remember that video that blew up with Chance the Rapper and his wife was left at home with the kid's child and he was in Jamaica having a jolly good time, thrusting or whatever, and everyone went crazy over this man dancing with a beautiful, bodacious woman. And it is hilarious how crazy people can get not knowing people's cultures. And just, I get it. I get that American society is so fascinated with women and so intimidated by women and how multifaceted they are and how they can be such beautiful beings and yet so smart at the same time and make their own decisions. So therefore you have created so many restrictions when it comes to being a woman in society and trying to block our talk. You try to block our reproductive systems, and it's insane how you intently keep on attacking our rights our human rights every single day, and yet we must be silent and just, I don't know, shut up, as one former president said. So let's just back up and just digress for a bit and just really take in and analyze how fucked this society can be, and how they expect you to show up immediately after you've had a child, having the worst laws could ever be possible, the worst laws that could even exist for mothers and Black women in this society. You do not understand the fear of women giving birth in a hospital and then just all your rights taken away immediately, and for you to be coerced into things that you didn't even ask. You weren't even asked if you wanted these things for your child. And the fact that the educational system, not even the educational system, just society, the towns that you pay your taxes can't even give you a damn pamphlet or flyer to let you know what's happening in your community about you. For example, if you're in a town or something, I'm sure there's a hospital near a town everywhere in this country. Why is it that you can't be sent some information pamphlet about how hospitalization works? How does it work? What happens as you enter the door? What are your rights? Why don't we know that? And me researching hospital and insurance and all of these things, when I call these places, nobody wants to answer the questions that is actually normal. Like, hello, how much is giving birth? How much is it to have an ultrasound? Why do I have to go through loopholes to figure these things out and then get a massive $10,000 bill in the mail after services if I don't have insurance? That's mad. That's crazy. That is insane. The fact that there's a price on giving birth, and then when the child is born in this country, you now have your child given to state under a birth certificate. And then they're legally bound to the rules of society. And say, for example, you decide that you want to go sovereign with your children and you don't want to be in society. And you decide that I want to take control. You are now looked at crazy, irresponsible, and not fit as a mother to take care of your loved ones. So I ask again, what is a traditional woman? I know this question is gonna bring out some really crab in a barrel man in my comments them. Me no conversation with it. No. I'm here to talk to the women, because for whenever women decide to speak about issues that is about them, for some crazy reason, men feel like they should enter the conversation. And I didn't ask you, love. I asked the women. So bear in mind, if you do come in the comment section, be aware that you may be getting some heat, because I didn't invite y'all. This video is for the women specifically. I'm trying to figure out what exactly, actually no, scrap that. I will allow men in this conversation only if you can give us the reason on why the patriarchy is still in effect. Old white men controlling the narrative. Let me know what that is. And I know that you have some boule Black men in those rooms as well. So, therefore, I would need y'all to tell me what the reasoning of all these, oh my gosh, what was that? All of these rules I know what it is, but I want y'all to tell me what it is and see if we're on the same page, because for some reason, the forward movement of women is not going forward. Nah, it's not going forward for some reason. It's going backwards. And I really want to know if y'all is just playing crazy, or let me not say crazy. I just want to know if y'all really understand the levels of how y'all are like, yeah. I don't even know what to say, because it's like, it's very obvious, it's very blatant, and we move like we do not see it, right? And if you didn't know, women have cycles. And I really wanted to dive in on this topic. Women have cycles. And I guarantee most men aren't in the room when their child is given birth. You don't hold your child immediately when the mother has given birth to the child. It's a statistical fact. Now, women have cycles every month. I've talked about this in the previous videos, talking about manifesting with your period and whatever. But if you haven't watched that video, go watch it. Women have cycles, and I find it preposterous that men don't really invest the time to know about their partner's cycles and know how they can assist a woman monthly. If you're in a relationship with somebody, why wouldn't you want to know the best way to work with them? And then we're just labeled as, oh my gosh, you're so moody, I cannot talk to you. Then we get gaslighted when our hormones are skyrocketed this month. We're not eating the right things. You're not telling us. I'm not saying like women should know these things for themselves, because me as a woman who's very like in tuned with how my cycle works, I don't want it to seem as a burden to my partner to learn these things. If I decide that I want to let you in to know my cycle, I want you to be interested. That's the difference. I don't want to come with my well-aligned knowing of cycles, yeah, and you're not interested. How's that gonna work? You're just gonna keep labeling me all these things, and you are out of sync with my body, and now we're gonna create toxicity in my whole immune system, and I'm gonna be constantly sick, and I don't want that. I don't want to be sick all the time. I don't want your toxicity all the time. That's not fair. And then we have to show up and give you body and all these things, and then we have to be, if we have children, we have to give you all of these things, and there's so much that we're given, and still we're being told you need to shut up and just take what you can get. But you know what this sounds like? It honestly sounds like, who's gonna tell them? Who's gonna tell them, girls? Who's gonna tell them? It seems like insecurity to me. It seems like you're a bit uncomfortable with femininity, or you're just a bit uncomfortable in general with the female reproductive system. It seems a bit childish and very immature, and there's so much work that needs to be done, and for men to take accountability for it. And I blame the moms. Ooh, that feels good. Yeah, I do. I blame whoever raised you, because you've had your child, hopefully through infancy, toddler, teen, to manhood, and now you expect a stranger to come in and teach your child this, and you are the mother. You have a duty. So for somebody, a woman, to come in and she's lived her 20-something years, 30-something years life, to come and meet your son, 40 is worse, to come and teach your son these things. As women too, we need to be in tune with ourselves and teach our daughters and our sons how this works. Damn, I shouldn't have said that. I given you the answer. I wanted y'all to say this in the comments, but that's the answer. We literally have to change the narrative and let our children know how men and women's cycles work. if we work in the cycle, the natural order, the cycle of everything, we will not be in this fuss. But I do want y'all to understand that you're under attack by corporations, solo businesses that thrive off of humanity being ill. And I know it's hard to even figure out how to maneuver through these things, but what was that? The best way is to teach our children how their bodies work, how hormones affect women monthly, and how it affects the brain chemistry and making decisions, and how food can play a big role in all these things, and how the lack of sun and how the lack of being outside affects these LED lights. How they are not the same as being outside and getting natural sunlight, and that also affects that. And all of these things play a part, because I see people striving to be working in offices and big buildings with these bright lights flashing on them, and we're building towers and stuff like this. We're literally allowing humanity to affect, if that makes sense. Everyone's inside creating TikToks. And women love the app. I love the app. I love the filter sometimes, you know what I'm saying? I love me some Snapchat. But can we have balance in the system, if that makes sense? Can we have balance? And I end this video with a question again. What is a traditional woman? There are so many factors of what a traditional woman is to who you are and how you were raised. And the truth of the matter is there a balance within the system that we can change so we can all ease into empathy for each other? Simple does it. It's not rocket science. I hope y'all take this with a grain of salt, because I don't know everything, but I was just curious. And I really want to pick your brain to really understand what that is to y'all. I will be replying to comments. I know I'm going to get all kinds of in there. But yeah, let me know if I should start a Discord or a Patreon or something, because like I really like talking about these topics. And I'll see y'all in the next video.